What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Alex, and in this video we're going to be talking about passive income, and I'm going to give you a tool that you can use to actually plan your financial future. So if you enjoy the content and like the video, make sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe for future content. Let's get into it. So passive income is the money that you're making off of the money that you already have accumulated. So for instance, like dividends, capital gains, real estate, even money in a money market account. You know, any money it's kind of like interest. That's what passive income is. And you don't really have to work for that money because, so the saying is that, let your money work for you. And once you kind of learn that mentality and really get it into your head that, wow, the more that I have and save, the more money I can make. You really flip your mindset into an investor instead of a consumer, then you really start to see things differently. And it really starts to hit you like, wow, the more money I put away now, the more money I'll have in the future, and the more money I can make off of my investments. And that's when it really gets fun because you can see the growth and the potential. And like I said, it's not, you have to, when you think of these numbers, when you think of a millionaire, some people are like, oh man, that's such a big number. But think about it. It's just math, guys. And once you really look into it and see the math, it's not that unattainable. A lot of people can do it if you just sacrifice and put your mind to it. That's what this compound interest calculator kind of shows you. It allows you to see that, wow, this is what it really takes. So in order for you to generate passive income, you need to take your earned income from your 9-to-5 day job or whatever you have and put that into investments to help your money grow so that one day you can take that pile of money and then live off of the interest. A better picture of this, I'm going to show you this tool that I use, and I'm on here a lot. I always play with the numbers, and you can do the same thing. You can kind of just get an idea of a number in your head of what you want to achieve in a certain amount of time, and you can kind of play around with the numbers and the interest rate to see what you should be saving every month in order to hit that number. So in this example I'm showing on the screen is if I were to max out my IRA every year for the next 30 years, that's how much I would have. And that's just one example. If you want to put more in, if you want to put less in, you can kind of play with the numbers and just see where you'll be at in the future. So it's a really good tool, and it kind of motivates me to, save more money because I can see, oh wow, if I put in an extra $500 a month or, so on and so forth, wow, this is how much I'll have. And it's a big motivator. When you're kind of playing around with the numbers on the website, there's also a chart that kind of shows you exactly what your money is going to be doing. So you can kind of see how growing your wealth actually works. And, it's not just this overnight thing that like all of a sudden, wow, I can live off of dividends. No, it's like I said before, it takes long-term consistent growth. But with the chart, you can kind of see how the curve starts to build up. And that's what you call compound interest, guys. And it starts to grow exponentially. And, that's really what the goal is. And that's what financial freedom means. Having your money work for you and you living off the interest. And that's the goal here. And I hope that, you can kind of see how it works from the chart. So some examples of what I have my money in would be a fund called SPY-G. And this fund is 300 of the biggest growth companies in the US. And, it really allows me to be diversified, right away. So right when I buy the fund, I automatically have 300 companies. And, it's relatively safe compared to just buying an individual company. So let's say I go out and I buy Apple stock. Now I'm risking a lot of money in one company. And, for an average investor, it's, I can't afford to, if Apple's at $290 a share right now, and if it goes down to $250 or $230, I can't afford to lose that much money. But, if I own it in an ETF and Apple does the same thing, I don't really feel it as much, right? So that's the whole point of kind of index investing. And, you can still kind of beat the market if you allocate your assets in a certain way. So, for me, I have, the majority of my investments are in mostly technology, just because over the past 10 years, that is what's been outperforming the market. And, I think technology is the future. So that's where I have, but that's not to say that I don't have other sectors of the market, because, you need to own it all. But that's just an example of, how to grow your money at, a good 10 to 15% rate. Another great fund to take a look at would be a fund called FTech. And that is a technology fund that has around 300 companies in it. And it's, 300 of the best tech companies in the US. So you're very exposed to that tech sector without really, exposing yourself to just one company. Because, if a company reports earnings and they go down 20%, that's a lot of money you just lost on that one stock. And that can really dampen your gains in your portfolio. So, for me personally, I just find it more safe to just, buy the index instead of trying to pick out the best companies that I think are going to outperform. That's not to say that you can't do that. There are some people that, like Jeremy, there's some people like Jeremy, and I know a lot of you probably watch him, but he that's what he tries to do. He tries to outperform the market, and, sometimes he gets burned, right? But most of the time he's pretty successful with it. But for an average investor that, just wants to put money away every 2 weeks, every month, it's probably better to just, in my opinion, buy index funds. And then you don't really have to worry about, huge volatility swings like that. To each his own. And if you want to try to, pick the best stocks, then that's on you guys. And, I encourage it. There's no wrong way to do this. As long as you are making consistent growth and gains, there's no wrong way to do it. If you have a job where, you're not really making enough where, you can afford to put money in, take a look at your expenses and really sit down and see, where is my money going? Because if you're getting paid and it's just going, right out the window to just nonsense, then, you're not really doing yourself any good. You're working 2 weeks and then you're spending the money you just made from 2 weeks ago, and it's just kind of a constant cycle. So if you want to get ahead, you need to actually see, like, wow, I'm spending this much on clothes, or wow, I'm spending this much on coffee. It just comes down to budgeting, and where your money really is going and what your priorities are. For me, my priority is my future. So I know now, if I put away a certain amount of money, this is how much I'll have. And that's what really gets a fire under me. That's what I really, think is cool. Think of a number that you want to hit, and how much do you need to save every month at a certain interest rate in order for you to hit it. So, you can't be afraid of these big numbers, guys. Like, if I say I want to have $1 million by the time I'm 30, how much do I need to save every month in order for me to hit it? And you can't be scared of it. You just have to say, I want to do that, and make it happen. If you have to stop eating out, if you have to stop buying clothes, it's just a matter of what you want to sacrifice in order for you to hit your financial goals. And that's just what it comes down to. Proven that it's almost impossible to time the market. So, what they say is, time in the market beats timing the market. So you just want to stay the course through the ups and downs, and just dollar cost average and remain consistent. It doesn't matter if the market's up or down. Just keep pumping in every month or every paycheck you get, and you will find that over the long term, your net worth will start to grow. Building wealth, all it comes down to is basically discipline and consistency. And if you can do those two things, the investments are kind of just fulfilled. You don't really need to do anything else besides that. So if you can just say, okay, here's how much I'm going to put in every month, and this is how much I need to do in order to hit this certain mark, then, you can be a millionaire. And that's what it comes down to. So that is going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you learned something, and I'm going to link those 2 calculators down below just so you can go yourself and, type in the numbers and kind of play around with it. It's actually kind of fun to see, you know, if you save this much, this is where you'll be at. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe for future content, and until the next one, I'm out.